Hey, I'm Lex.
And I'm Gibby. Welcome to another episode of Porch Swing People.
This is actually a continuation of last week's episode. So, welcome to episode 48, Dave, part 2. Let's jump back in.
Okay. Tell us the connection you had with another person that you really value these days.
I guess I can say my wife.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Miss Susan?
Yeah.
Former podcast guest, Susan.
Yeah. Former podcast guest. Yes. Yeah. Watching her do her Tai Chi and do her Qigong. And watching, it's really interesting. Her family that she has here when they're doing this, they look out for each other. And these, and as we get older seniors, having that camaraderie, getting out, that helps you live. And you can see it in her students and how she teaches her class, like I have a black belt in judo and jujitsu. I have a brown belt in kung fu.
Cool.
But when we teach, it's boom, it's with energy. How she teaches, and that's why I say I like her, is flowing, it's balance, it's breathing. And I believe those things are so important. I used to ask people, what is the first and last thing you'll do on this earth? That's breathing. So, protect that breathing, and you can say this too, Gabby, while we're in a little pain and stuff, trying to take those deep breaths,
Gather yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And it's just keeping your mind fresh. And so, and I would say watching her class and watching a lot of people from different ages come in there. And I'll tell you what's really kind of funny is I watch some cats who come in and they're like, I can't move this slow, but they're martial artists. I'm like, well, why not? I said, isn't that, how when you do katas, don't you move slow, with intention? But, so watching her and watching the effect that how she has on her class and her class lovers, because she does not. It's an individual how you move and how you, but you're trying. That reminds me of my coach. I'm giving you this letter because you keep trying. And then when I see all
enjoyed her sessions, I'm telling you.
Yeah, Gibby's gone to her class a couple of times.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
She's a wonderful girl.
She is.
So, I mean, we could go on and on about Susan's class. She's an amazing teacher. It's like the best community of a class that I've ever seen. I remember when Susan was on the podcast, she said that her favorite way to be physically active was walking, and that is yours as well, or you have a different way that you like to be active?
Yeah, thank you for asking. It started off, I used to like going to the gym when I was younger, the bodybuild, but now it's more just to stay toned and make sure those muscles are getting active. But as I got older, the shoulders started giving me problems. So I said before then I started biking. I used to bike from Auburn to Renton. On the interurban trail back there. Yeah. And, it's really wild because you can kind of think, and you get your breathing and you challenge yourself. And so since my shoulders started acting up, I couldn't really do a lot. So, and then with neuropathy, I can't run that hard, unfortunately. But I live in a senior community, and I watch, and what we say here is if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. Yep. So we get out and we walk, and walking now, honestly, that is one of the best exercises you can do is walking. They say it's a miracle how we learn to stand up on these 2 feet. So, but yeah. So when Susan's here, we walk sometimes. She walks with her neighbor. I walk over here. I walk over to the donut shop. I come back.
Nice.
A perfect walk.
I do about maybe 3 miles if I try to get 3 miles in a day. But since the rib issues have came, I have to been just breathing exercises now.
Yeah. Oh man. I love what you're saying about walking. It's something that we should all remember, and it's something that is so easy to take for granted.
Exactly. Yeah. And you don't have to pay a gym membership.
There you go.
Right?
Walking is free.
Yeah, right.
Kind of free.
Dave, can you tell us about the most magical thing that you have ever experienced?
Oh man, Wow. Okay. This was, maybe I can think of two of them. Um, it was for me. I've been through a lot of ups and downs, and so I started digging into more of a spiritual connection um, with people. I tried to find the middle line instead of trying to get the argument. I was at Fort Benning, and we were going through infantry school, and so it was a few people getting into an argument about religion. Uh,
Mm.
one was this, one was that, one was this. They asked me, and I'm like, well, I don't know what I said, but then I looked up, and I had 15, 20 people looking at me, and I'm like, well, and that's when I got back into me, and I opened my
Oh
mouth again, and
no.
they dispersed, right? And they dispersed, right? So that was one of the interesting ones, and the other one is, while I was in Southern California, you get a lot of people who want to be independent filmmakers. So
Mhm.
I got invited to come on to this independent film. It was a 48-hour film festival. So you had to do all your stuff, and then had to have these three things inculcated into your film. So I was responsible for audio, and okay, we did audio and all that. So then they go, well, your film will be showing over here, and I'm like, over here where? So I'm walking around. I'm looking at this movie theater. The doors are closed, and I'm like, this is the address. And I said, so where is it supposed to be? So come to find out, it was in the movie theater. So you got to sit down in the movie theater and watch your production of what you done on the big screen, right? And it's like
Yeah.
Dolby stereo, right, coming at you.
Yeah.
And then Katz asked me after it was over, "Did you do that sound audio for this?" I said, "Yeah, I did." They said, "Wow, how did you do that?" And so that was very, and I was like, "Dude, that blew me away."
Acknowledged.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
Totally.
saying?
That's surreal.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Hey, so tell us a scene from a TV show or a movie that you reference all the time.
Oh, that's my it's really interesting. And when I see this movie, The Matrix,
Yeah,
right?
I love it. One of
Right,
my
love it,
favorite
right? And
movies.
it's like,
Yeah.
you have to ask yourself, are you plugged in or are you unplugged? Right, red pill, blue pill.
Uh-huh.
But I always enjoyed, and this is one thing I take as universal. When the Neo walked in to see the Oracle, and as he was talking, and she asked him, "So do you think you were the one?" And he wasn't sure. And she pointed to the sign above their head. I think it was Latin.
Yeah.
And she says, and translated, "Know thyself." And that I think is so key, you know, um, knowing who you are, I think can eliminate a lot of what can be caused, friction that you move through life. Um, um, I say this, I would like to be the guy who pays Michael Jordan. They go, who is that guy? Exactly. And when I can have the power, but I have to know myself as to far as like my sleeping patterns are different from Susan. I stay up late. I wake up about maybe 3 hours after she does sometime. Um, I know, I only eat chicken. I haven't eaten a lot of the beef products in it. And it's because I haven't eaten them in a long time. It feels, it's different to my body
Mhm.
Sure.
when I do eat it. And I don't knock people for what their dietary move is. I think that's important. But know
Mhm.
thyself, know your thresholds, know why you have those thresholds, know what brung those thresholds about, know how they are affecting your life today. Make your adjustments because I try to tell people you're beautiful. No matter this is why we are different. You're beautiful. If everybody looked like me, I'd be kind of upset. Dude,
Yeah,
really, I
that
have to
makes
look at
sense.
your face again. Right? But and you too, Susan. You guys are beautiful people. That's what I say. If you know yourself, you know what you like. You know what you like being around. They asked this hockey coach recently, "What is your what makes you take her sleep or whatever?" He says, "I can't tell you all that." And then he actually broke down and told him, "Well, I watch Seinfeld at night."
There you go. That
How
works
you
for
rock,
him.
right? I said, I got you. I said, I hear you on that. I'm doing the Big Bang Theory as well. So, but it's what calms your spirit, gets you to focus on. We have so much stuff around us to focus on. and you don't have time to meditate on anything, So take time out, breathe, know
Mm-hmm.
yourself, sit in
Mm-hmm.
silence for a minute, know thyself. And you can know that would help you better in relationships, whether it's with a wife, a coworker, or whatever. You know yourself. I say when you see problems that are threatening thyself, don't walk away. Run, Forrest, run. Right?
Yeah.
Don't let nothing mess with your chi, right? Keep that
Uh,
intact. Okay.
well,
But yeah,
let me
Yeah.
thank
just
you
say
for that
something,
That's
question.
Dave.
great
Out of
advice.
all of the questions on all of our podcasts and the answers, number 5 right there is my favorite one, and with the answer. Well done on that.
Yeah, good
And
movie,
maybe
great
it's because I love
movie,
that movie.
Yes.
great movie, but also amazing takeaway, and you can apply that
Yeah,
everywhere throughout your
Exactly.
life.
yeah,
Right.
So, Dave,
yeah.
tell us about a book that you recently finished, or a book that you're currently reading, maybe.
Oh wow! It is this book off of Amazon, and let me see. I'm gonna grab it real quick. A book off of Amazon that I said I'm trying to not think just with my eyes and my mind. I'm trying to slow down and think with my spirit and understand. Try to get a deeper connection. I think sometimes when we are dependent on one one of our what did we say, our seven senses, if
Hmm.
we're so dependent upon one, it's going to kind of put the other ones in the back seat.
Hmm.
And I think that some of those things you should look at. So the book that I'm looking at now is Becoming Supernatural: How Common People Are Doing the Uncommon. And so I'm looking for this book. It's an audio book. I got off I can say this off of Amazon.
Hmm.
um, and so I said, well, let me try to listen to this book and get more into what the understandings of just trying to feel how people are moving instead of just my eyes being judgmental.
Mm.
'Cause sometimes we can be into our own realm so much of what
Hmm.
has affected us in our life that we don't have time to really put that in check. I'll give you this one that I learned from uh, what was from a Dharma talk when I actually says, um, two monks were walking down the road. One monk, they saw this little girl who had broke her leg. So the monk, which is against the rules, put her on his back, took her to the nearest town. They left the town. They were walking for 3 or 4 more miles. Well, the other monk says, I don't believe that you carried that young girl on your back. He turned to him and says, I don't believe that you've been carrying that for 4 miles. Right? Who's been weighing heavy on who? You're carrying
Uh-huh.
that burden for 4 miles. That's been dropped off. I only have to do 2 miles to put her there, but you're carrying this burden for 4 miles. So this is how I think sometimes we can, if we get caught in the matrix, sometimes so focused on just our eyesight, and
Yeah,
then our mind, because sometimes we have suffered some things in the past, and it's still affecting us. I think we all have a trait from our parents, one way or the other, and hopefully they're good. So I think that if we close our eyes, just meditate, just close your eyes, close everything down. You see all this stuff in my office here. I have to leave here to meditate, but yeah, I think that inner peace is so important, and I think it's so helpful to your body and your soul, your spirit. When one of those get affected, the other has to suffer as well, right? And so
yeah,
you have to balance that out. And we say if we don't get enough sleep, it's going to affect us in the daytime. It's going to affect our
Hmm.
health. So we have to find out. And some people, bless them, and they should sleep in total darkness. Don't have TV. I have this TV in my room and got that thing on. It's like,
Yeah.
so,
yep.
but thank you for that question.
Wow.
I tell you what, Dave, so many little tidbits in your podcast. I like the you went. It came and it went so quickly. I just want to put a shout out to all the parents out there. You said we get some of our characteristics from our parents.
Yeah.
Hopefully, some most good, some bad. The one thing that I want everybody and Lexi to remember this: we just did the best we could.
There you
Our
go.
parents are doing the best they can. They just
Yeah.
were
Yeah,
doing
you
the best
tried
they
you
can.
tried the
Yeah.
best you can with the resources that you have
Yeah,
at the time.
Yeah. There's no handbook.
Dave, can you
yeah.
tell us about you glossed over this in that question as well. Tell us about a moment that you had where you felt completely at peace.
Oh, wow. Yeah, great. Um, uh, it's interesting. There is in different places, I think there's one here in Washington called the Vipassana meditation. I've had some chance to meditate with some Tibetan monks that was in Southern California. Really interesting. Uh, Different monks. Some are vegetarian, some are not. Some drink soda, some do not. Um, and I got to meditate with them, but the Vipassana meditation was out in 29 Palms, way out in the desert in Southern California. And it was 13 days of, we did mostly sitting meditation and walking meditation. You had no eye contact. The males and females were separated. Um, you had no eye contact with other males. There were no talking. You had no writing utensils. And actually, it is a donation toward part of place. You can donate if you want to, or you don't have to, and you can show up there at a
Wow.
Vipassana. And they were so the 13 days. And I would tell you, when I left there, everything seemed bright, so many colors. I started noticing that, when you're hanging on to the steering wheel in the car, if you're at the stop sign, just let go of the steering wheel for a while, because it comes up through the neck, and I started feeling it through the neck. I didn't listen to radio for about 2 days. Uh, and then, you start in the TV, all the ads and everything. You're like, whoa, this is really, and just spending your time in that space
Hmm.
with yourself. And I would tell you, the hard thing was trying to sit in a lotus position, which I would say you don't have to be in a lotus position to meditate. You can
Yeah.
sit, you can lay, you can do anywhere you can meditate. But there, oh my God, it took like 8 days before I can actually sit in a half lotus. And that was, oh God, I mean, and it was, your senses were so keen that you would hear the monk press the button on the recorder to play the Dharma talk, and you would hear, but everybody says, yeah, you can hear the button. You were so in tune
Hmm.
with everything, because you weren't being bombarded with a lot of
Hmm.
colors. What are the restaurants? They say they use red, and their advertisements are on their boards because it attracts this. Yeah, so it was just really, it was so cool just being at peace and then
Hmm.
discovering things that, it's almost like when you drive, and then after a while you get out your car and you walk the block, you start seeing more stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's
Mm,
what that
That's a
yeah.
great metaphor. Wow. I mean, that
yeah.
what an incredible experience. It's even hard to imagine, especially with like you're describing, like in our everyday life, we are just so constantly bombarded through
Yes,
all the senses.
yes, we're getting
Wow.
them left and right, and like I said, it was so beautiful. Standing out there when you're doing your meditation walk, everybody would stop because the sun was rising. And just like the animals, how they go and get in the sun bathe, just the sun just coming up over you and watching it. It was majestical. We take these things for granted because if you live like I live in a very light polluted place. You can't see stars, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's just beautiful. Coming at peace. Yeah. Thank
Wow.
you very
That's
much.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the cat.
Well, I'm going
Yeah.
to ask. I don't know if you have a cat, but the question here is: share a recent story about your pet that is particularly silly or funny.
See, this is I never owned a cat before. My
Oh,
cat Dee Dee, right? This is my first cat. And a good friend of mine gave me her because I was really in tune with her cat, Aphrodite, and her cat was getting old and we had to put her down. So I said, I want a
Mm.
tuxedo cat like
Hmm.
Aphrodite. So I call her Dee Dee. So Aphrodite. So
Cute. Yeah.
Dee Dee, I didn't know this. She likes to play fetch, right? Um, I'm in my office and I'm taking some stuff out and I got these twisted. And I turn around like, where are my twisted? And she's took the twisted and she's slapping around on the floor. So then I go sit down and she comes and drops the twisted in front of me and she looks at me and turns around and it's like she's ready to run.
uh-huh.
Seriously, I didn't know cats played fetch, and she's more intrusive than a dog. When I have some food, she'd jump up
Uh-huh.
on the table and put her little snout in there. I'm like, Katie, come on. Yeah, that's me. I never had a cat before, but it's really cool having her. Oh, another one. So me and Susan are going out to eat. I put on this suit jacket and I have this white shirt with no collar on. We're going there. We're looking pretty nice. I'm looking at, because I usually on my shirts I like to show cuff.
Uh-huh.
Then I looked and I noticed that Dee Dee done jumped on my closet and ripped my shirt. And there's threads hanging, and I'm out at dinner, like, trying to cover up that one arm. Right? And so now I have this
That's so
mouse
lovely.
to keep her out of my closet. Yeah. That's my Dee Dee.
You didn't even catch her in the act, and she's taking blame.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
so
out at
funny.
dinner.
Your impact is everywhere, is what you're
Yes.
saying.
Yes.
So cute. And so she's black and white, you said?
Yeah, she's a little black one. Oh, she's laying down on the floor over here. Yeah, she's a little
Aw.
black and white little. Susan. Oh God, she calls her a circus cat, and
Yeah. Oh, I see her. She's pretty.
Beautiful. Yeah, she is
Yeah.
beautiful.
she calls her a circus cat because in the morning Susan gets up at 4 or 5.
What?
And yeah, and I'm
Okay.
like, no, I see you later. I'm sleeping this one in. Right? And so she's out there with this one, having Dee Dee jump. Dee Dee 4 feet off the ground, 2 foot tall, 2 foot high.
What circus movie?
And then my neighbor's downstairs with this 12-pound cat. I'm like, oh my God. I said, well, I'm sleeping this one out. They were going to come and complain to me eventually, but
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. I love that. I've never had a cat either, and I imagine that's how it would go for me too. With like, okay, there's a lot to learn with how cats operate and how their brains work and their personalities. Very different.
Yeah. And she knows I keep her off my counters, but at nighttime or in the morning when I come, I can see her paw prints on the stove. And
Oh,
she doesn't wait until he's asleep. I know.
so she knows the rules apply when you're there.
Oh boy, yeah. She doesn't like the squirt gun no more. Cats don't like that. You can spray their
Nope.
body, but don't spray their head. Oh, we don't wanna do
Oh, that doesn't go well. Good
Yeah.
advice. So to kind of wind things down, Dave, we want to hear a message that you have for your future self.
Oh yeah. Okay. I would say this, and I say this for everybody: don't give up. Believe in you. Follow through with whatever you try to go, whichever you're going through. Follow it through. Don't give up on you, and don't let anybody tell you any different. If you're around people who are not positive or moving in the direction, move on. Don't spend your time getting upset. Don't spend your time arguing. It's a waste of energy and it's a waste of time. Either a person wants to hear it, either they don't. But
Boom.
be
That's
the
a big
best
one.
person that you can be, and always look in the mirror and tell yourself at least once a day that I love that person who I'm looking at in the mirror. That's
Wow.
love yourself. All right?
We should stop right there, but
we go.
I'm gonna,
Podcast over.
yeah.
We can't go on. That was amazing.
Hey, but what is a dream or a goal that you're currently working towards?
Wow, this new AI stuff has jumped in my business a little bit, but I'd say always, I want to make my video and music story. Some people write a book. Some people do the diary. Some people make films. I want to make a documentary of life that I've seen, what I've been through, and just so it can motivate people. That when you look around, there's a lot of people out here suffering way worse than some of us are. So
Yes.
pick up your, what did they say? Put on your big boy pants and keep it moving. It ain't over till it's over. So
Nope.
love yourself, and cherish each moment that you can breathe, and cherish the moment that you have people who love you too. So 'cause a lot of people.
I love that answer as well. I can't wait to see your documentary, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I got to get this together.
Not in a hurry, but we still got to work toward it.
That's a great goal for
Yeah.
yourself. I love that so much. And there's one more thing that we wanted to hear about, which was something that left you inspired or rejuvenated recently, and it was comments on your YouTube channel.
Oh yeah. When I do this channel, one thing I come to real understanding is that more people are looking for the pop and flair, the housewives or whatever. But when you're putting out advice, for that will help you, a lot of people don't want to open that book.
It's weird, isn't it?
Isn't it right? I can get on here and talk about somebody's life and how crummy it is, and I got a lot of tunes in. But when I hear back from one guy, he was an officer in the Navy. He got out and he started asking me about, because I told him I used to work for the DOD. He says, well, how can I do this? I said, you're an officer. You have to understand your pay grade is going to be way high. I said, start looking into that information. And he hit me back and told me dates. He says, I found one even better. You can pass them on to other people. I said, oh, great. The one guy who was who had 2 kids, and he was by himself and was on the verge of losing everything. I say, no. Go to the Work Resource Center and have them talk to you, and they will help you out. On top of that, they should hook you up with housing authorities. Housing authority is going to help you out. Housing authority will get you into a house. You don't have to pay the first down. You can get into the house. They have programs for veterans called VASH HUD. Go look into that. If you have kids, they're going to get you quickly into a house and get your kids stable.
Get you pushed up the top. Yep.
It's hard to have a peace of mind when you don't have shelter. You don't have
But impossible.
Yeah, right. And you're, and to keep you on point. So this is a beautiful thing now about the internet. Now we can get out and talk to people. And I got maybe a little under 600 subscribers. That's because I show up every now and then. But I show up when there's a purpose for me to show up. I really just don't show up. And I dig you guys' podcasts. I appreciate it. You guys are teaching me a lot. Being in here. But
thanks, Dave.
So that's what I want my YouTube channel to be about, is helping people. The information I have is free knowledge. I'm going to go to my afterlife and just not share this. This can help people. And the most happiest thing I got is when this gentleman who had his kids, he hit my fraternity brother up and he hit me up and he says, Dave, this guy really says he appreciates your help. One other guy, he was at 10% and he had mental problems. And I kept talking to him and saying, this is what I've been through. Maybe you want to try that. He came back and says, Dave, he said, I want to thank you. He goes, you got me to 30%. I said, 30% is great. Take advantage of your hospital. Yeah. Take advantage of your hospital visits and keep going. And I said, you're going to get more, because he's really suffering from PTSD. And now with the current things that's going on, it slows him up. But we're here, just like you guys' podcast. You're educating people, in a wholesome way, which is a great way. And that's what I do. I'm 62, 63 here in October. What am I going to do? I got to give this to people. I was one of the first persons who caught COVID up in the Northwest here.
Congratulations.
Yeah, right?
Did you get a certificate?
That's the lady that called her on the phone. She goes, oh, wow, you're the first person I've ever heard from. I'm like, pull out and start doing the hand hands.
Lucky me.
Right.
It's just how you look at it.
Right. But yeah. So when I hear answers back that people say, you've helped me. As long as I reach one, I'm blessed. People.
Super cool.
Yeah, that's those blessings that I get from there, and it lets me know that I'm at least on the right track a little bit with helping people. But people want me to be on more often. So much stuff to do, but I got to get back on it.
Totally. You know what, Dave? I just want to end by saying, first of all, thanks for joining us on our podcast today. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate the questions that you brought onto the pod and your wonderful answers and all the thoughtfulness you put into that. But I also want to say, as genuine as I possibly can, it's so apparent how you are changing people's lives now and how you did throughout your career. I mean, you're a person who is there for other people. You recognize who was there for you in multiple ways that maybe you didn't recognize at the time, but you benefited from. And that is, it seems like that is your life, that you have passed that forward and you keep striving for that. And that is something that I think we could all learn from and emulate. So thank you again for bringing that onto our pod today.
And may I say thank you to you both. It's been an absolute honor and a pleasure. And please keep doing what you're doing. I think you guys are going to make a big impact and a big difference. And I appreciate you. Thank you again for having me.
I got two things before you split as well.
Yeah.
Number one, give your YouTube site another shout out. Let everybody know what it's called.
It's the Seattle Blk, that's BLK Veteran, the Seattle Blk Veteran. Please hit me up and let me know what you think and give me your comments and your thoughts. So I hopefully can address your questions and hopefully help you move a little easier through the VA system.
So Dave, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us today. It was a lot of fun. I know it seemed like it went super quick, but anyhow, we give you back your day. Thank you very much.
I thank you both very much. Have a blessed day. Thank you again.
You too.
Dave is amazing. I remember we had this conversation early on after we had Susan on, and you're like such a sweet, kind lady, and her husband, such a cute couple, and I was thinking, I didn't say it out loud probably, but I was thinking, man, Dave's lucky. That's a sweet lady that kind, and Susan is lucky too, because that is a gentleman right there, super sweet, super kind, trying to make a difference in people's lives, and not looking to get anything back.
Yeah. And what I love about what he is trying to push out and give to other people is just the knowledge of his experience, and not trying to go outside of that scope, but like, here's what I've learned and I want to pass that on. That reminds me of former guest Laura, yoga instructor, who said the same thing. Like, I learn and then I pass on what I learn. And I think that that's kind of a major template for living life in general.
Yeah. Just his intro had like 4 or 5 things I wanted to discuss even further. It was just one after another.
I know. We could have probably done this could have been a 2-parter.
Easily.
Yeah. I loved the stories about the various mentors and people who have supported him throughout his life, like the track and field coach.
Yeah.
And
God bless their souls. Yeah. And
the drafting teacher, which was drafting such an interesting class to take up because he likes to draw. Yeah. But I loved particularly that little detail of him going to sharpen his pencil and like sneaking peeks to see like, what am I supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah, we've all done that. That's a good story.
I loved the conversation about music, because music is something that we both love, and clearly it's something that Dave is passionate about as well. So that was pretty awesome to hear about his LP collection and some of the amazing artists that he was able to see back in the day.
Obviously the other thing that is interesting about Dave, he has a lot of interest, and when he delves into one of them, he jumps in with both feet, because you can tell, the albums or, so very cool.
Or just dropping like, hey, I'm a black belt in, was it jujitsu?
Jiu-jitsu, yes.
And a brown belt in Kung Fu. Like, okay.
Yep.
That's amazing. We didn't even talk about that. What about his life application of the Matrix?
I was going to bring that one up probably last. Know myself. No, I love really that. Good. So I may have mentioned this a couple times on the pod. The Matrix. I didn't want to go see the Matrix. It's funny. We were actually was in the military heading to the Philippines, and our plane broke down in Hawaii. I think that's a normal thing back in the day. And so we're stuck in Hawaii, but you only can be 2 hours away from the plane, because if they get it fixed, we got to get back on the plane. So we, a bunch of frogmen should we go to this place? And they say, do not get inebriated and try to get back on this plane, because that's not going to work. So one of the guys is like, hey, let's go to the movie. I'm
That's a
like,
good
I'm
idea.
good with that. And it was hot.
Safe
Yeah,
option. Yeah.
safe option. So we were standing there, and I remember my bud was like, "Hey, let's go to this thing. It's the Matrix." And I'm looking at it. I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I
Well,
heard it's good."
hold on. Do you
Yeah.
remember in our last episode
Mm-hmm.
with childhood friend Brent?
Yeah.
And what he said about
Yep.
being skeptical about things.
Dragging your feet. Yep.
And I said,
Yep.
Who does that remind me of?
Yep. Went to it,
Yeah.
and right away, the very first scene in the
You
Matrix.
get hooked right away.
Right away, that first scene, and you're like, "What in the world?" I was so disappointed that the movie was over and we had to go get back on a plane. And I was like,
well, because you just need time to process after seeing The Matrix.
Yeah.
Like, to think about life. I didn't get to see that in theaters. That must have been so cool.
It was amazing because the sound system in the theater in Hawaii was just booming.
Yeah.
And so it was great.
Wow.
But I do remember the sign. I don't know in Latin the term that actually is, but she did say, that means know thyself. So,
and it has such great applications to living life. Kind of reminds me of his story about meditating with the monks and just like being in tune with his senses. That was incredible to hear about. 13 days is a long time.
What a commitment.
Yeah.
I would like to say that, I have passion for some certain things. That dude has some passion, because I don't know how would I manage 13 days.
He knows how to not quit.
There you go.
For sure.
Don't quit.
I think that and I was thinking about this. I think the walking meditation sounds lovely because it's kind of like hiking, which I love. But just sitting and meditating, that sounds really hard because we like to move our bodies, But also, he talked a lot about the power of walking, and I think that's something that we should definitely highlight. A lot of our guests have talked about walking.
Yes, they have. And one of my big goals is I'm going to do a lot more walking.
Yeah. Small walks, long walks. Sometimes I think people are deterred from walking if they can't fit in a long walk, but a short walk will do the trick too, and it adds up.
And I do multiple short trips.
Exactly, yeah. The fresh air, the vitamin D, the movement, it all adds up.
Yeah.
Do we feel so lucky to have Dave on the podcast today?
Yeah. I mentioned at the end when he got off, I needed a little bit of Dave today.
Yeah. I feel like he's the type of person who shows up when you need him.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to having him on again sometime in the future. Thanks again, Dave. Well, I think that is another episode of Porch Swing People. Thanks for tuning in.
Porch Swing People, out.
Porch Swing People is recorded and produced by Lex and Gibby. Opening music was written and produced by Michael Gibson. Porch Swing People is a podcast featuring everyday people. If interested in being a guest, email us at porchswingpeeps@gmail.com.